Okay, that's it. I think I've made you guys wait long enough. That custom part finally came in, baby. I don't know if you can see it back there, but yes, I got a custom exhaust made for the Red Rocket. Okay, let's go check this out. Unbelievable. Check out this thing. My goodness. So, yeah, the heater just came on, which is nice. But look at this, okay? This is made by Graffeo, or Graffeo, I'm not sure how you say it. Graffeo Original Exhaust Systems, okay? 2-in-1. Guys, look at the welds on this thing. Absolutely beautiful, okay? So the idea is to install this guy on the bike, okay? Yeah, let's be honest. This here, this gotta go. The block, I don't mind the block, but the 2 and the 2, let's be honest, that exhaust, I've said it before, I said it on my Street Glide, and I understand Harley's gotta deal with all the environment protection stuff and whatever the case may be, but the bike sounds like a sewing machine. Like, come on, it's a Harley-Davidson, right? So the idea is we're gonna take the stock exhaust off, and we're gonna mount that 2-in-1 Graffeo original exhaust, okay? Part of that as well, so we're gonna go through step by step how to remove the exhaust, and then what we're gonna do is when I get the stock exhaust off, we're gonna take all the pieces, heat shields included. We're gonna go downstairs. We're gonna weigh it. We're gonna weigh to see how much the stock stuff, how much it weighs, and then we're gonna weigh the Graffeo exhaust and see what the difference is to see how much weight savings alone. Okay, but I mean this one here, you already know. It's got 2 exhausts on it, right? One on either side. So the left side of the bike here will be completely no pipes, okay? Exposing that white wheel at the bottom. And yeah, looking forward to it. I really like that stainless look. I guess it's like the exposed stainless look of this pipe. Look at this thing. Absolutely beautiful. Like the craftsmanship, the quality. Unbelievable. Nice little touch. Welds his name into the back of the pipe here, and I don't know if you can make that out here, but it's the state of Texas that he's got burnt into there. So yeah, Mr. Ricky Graffeo, based out of Texas, makes these pipes. They're made to order. They're made in the USA. They're made one by one. They're not massively produced. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I could have gone with you know, I could have went with a D&D or a Vance and Hines, or I could have gone with a Bassani or any of that kind of stuff. But you know what? There's a hardworking man over there. Ricky Graffeo builds them one at a time. He's a small guy. You know what I mean? Like, he's the small company, but they're all made, obviously made to order. They're beautiful. I asked him to put a little extra on mine. What I mean by that is tell him to make it a bit longer. So if you can look at this part here, this normally isn't here. Normally the two pipes go into the one by the collector. I asked him to add this much to it, and the reason for that is when I mount the exhaust here on the bike, instead of stopping short right over here and getting all that black soot on my beautiful paint, it's going to come a little further back to go underneath the bag, so any black soot or any of that stuff will either miss the bike completely or hit the bottom of it. So again, doesn't ruin that beautiful paint that I paid for. But yeah, so we'll get started here. We'll start taking things apart. What we're gonna do is we'll start off here. We're gonna take off all the heat shields. Looks like I'm gonna have to drop the floorboard to get to this part of it here. And yeah, you're definitely gonna need a few tools here. I'll put the tools in the description what you need, and we'll get started with that. Again, the bike's filthy. I haven't really touched it much. but that's okay. That's what, you got a long winter to clean that up. And lastly, what I want to show you here is that you don't have to reuse the flanges on the bike. Ricky already supplies his own over here to bolt up, and he also gives you a pair of crushed gaskets to go back up and to mount back up into the cylinder. So, without further ado, I'll get the parts laid out here, or sorry, I'll get the tools laid out that we need, and we'll get started. It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait. Oh, and I know I said that I made a second purchase of parts, and the reason why is this, okay? Again, if you look at the way that this exhaust is routed, this here comes up above the cylinder, across the front cylinder and over the timing cover. This is where the timing cover would be. So, as you can see here, the front exhaust here, see how it goes underneath the timing cover? So this other one's gonna be routed above and then down, okay? So there may or may not be a bit of a clearance issue here because the stock air intake comes down pretty low. So obviously I had to rectify that. You know me, problem solver. So I did get an aftermarket air intake. Again, maybe near the end of the video, I'll show you which one I went with. But as a small hint, it does complement this exhaust, okay? So I got a 3/8 ratchet here with a deep 1/2-inch socket. I've got a 9/16 deep socket, and I've got a 15 mil. I know this is weird. It's supposed to be an imperial, but there's a metric size. I'll show you which one it is. And that's pretty much all that you need. Oh, you're definitely gonna need your swivels here. These are really, really handy, and they're really gonna come into play when you're working on the front of the bike here and trying to get the nuts. Look how deep that, look how weird that is. So we're gonna take off that flange nut right there. Yeah, so you're definitely gonna need that swivel. I'm not sure I'm gonna get to it, maybe underneath or from the other side or something. But yeah, those swivels are definitely gonna help. So I'm just gonna set the camera down here. Okay. It's important as well to know that when you're taking an exhaust, when you take the exhaust off the bike, you want to start from the back and work your way to the front, and then vice versa. When you're installing a new system, you're going to start at the top, at the very front, and you work your way to the back. So we'll start with the 1/2-inch here, and we'll start to undo the support here for the muffler tips. So that's your 3/8, which is here with the 1/2-inch deep on it, and that's just so that you can reach it here. Okay. Okay. So then you're going to need, I believe it's your 15 mil, which is here. There is a nut right here. Okay, this guy here is a 15. Okay, so we'll get rid of that guy. Okay, so from here we should be able to wiggle that first muffler off. Let's have a look. There we go. Just like that. First muffler off. Look at that. Looks better already. Okay, let's go to the, we're gonna do the same thing on the other side, and then we'll move on. Actually, you know what, since you're here, here's what we're gonna do. We're going to remove the cross pipe. Okay. Again, if you're putting slip-ons, all you do is just take off the other side and put your new slip-ons. Just put them back in. But since we're going down just to the one side, we can remove this guy down here. Okay, so we're here. The 1/2 inch nut I'm talking about is right there. I don't know if you can see that there. So it's right here. Okay. If you remove these up here, the Allens, you'll probably take off the support. But right now, we'll just get rid of this guy here to get rid of this cross pipe. Okay. Again, that's a 1/2 inch standard size socket. Put you here. Okay. Beautiful. Just like that. Come apart. Okay, so repeat the same steps on the other side, and we'll take off the muffler on the other side. This side, the left side of the bike, is because again, I took out the 1/2 inch that were here that was supporting the pipe up. This guy here that holds the muffler tip on. The other side was a 15 mil. This one here is actually it's a 9/16, I believe. Yeah, so the other side was a 15 mil. This one here is a 9/16. That's the only difference. Everything else is the same. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove that now. Okay, as you can see, the left side muffler has been taken off. Same with the right side muffler. This 1/2 inch bolt that was underneath the frame that was holding the mid pipe going across, you can actually put that back in if you ever want to use it again. What this was doing is this was holding this bracket in here. Okay, this bracket holds the mid pipe to the frame. Again, we don't need that mid pipe. We don't need that mid pipe anymore because going 2-in-1, baby. So again, this we don't need. This just put it back in, I guess, and that way it's there if you ever want to go back into a 2-in-2 or whatever the case may be, and you do need that cross pipe. So again, not really much weight. We'll just put it back in and carry on. From there, we're going to start to undo the heat shields. So I'll put that 1/2 inch guy back in. Find the heat shields. They're probably towards the bottom. Right here. Okay, they're a 10 mil. You could use a flathead screwdriver, but I'm just going to use a 10 mil and zip them out. And that way it will give us a chance to get to the mounting bolts. But I may not have to do that. Let's have a look. Anyway, I'll put the 1/2 inch back in and then go from there. Okay, so we're back. You don't need to take the heat shields off, okay? Again, I got that 1/2 inch screw back in. I lifted the bike a bit just to get better access to it, but this is the one I was talking about right here. I don't know if you can see it there. That's it there. Okay, put that guy back in. We're good to go. All of this is connected now just to the main head pipe, which is here. So yeah, there's nothing else holding on to this exhaust except for your O2 sensors, which are here. You got one here. All you need is a 11/16 open box wrench. That one here, and that one there, which is a bit hard to get to. So what I'll do is I'm going to start to undo the flange bolts, which are up here. That's a 1/2 inch bolt. Same with that one, same with the front. So I'll undo it from here, undo it from the front, pull this away a bit. From there, hopefully we're able to access this O2 sensor. So let's do that now. Again, this is what I was talking about, where you're going to need those flex heads there so you can get to it, because these are definitely some weird angles here. Again, here, so I lied to you a couple times. One, these are not 10s, they're 8s, 8mm, and I had to undo them just a bit so that I could move this heat shield out of the way to get to the nut in there. Okay, so now both of these are out. That's a 1/2 inch again for both. This is what they look like when they're out. So now I got to work on the front again. So I may or may not have to use an 8mm just to loosen the heat shield to get to the nuts at the top. But before that, we're going to give ourselves a little bit more room and take down this floorboard. Okay, so the floorboards, you've got an Allen right over here. So we'll remove that Allen, and what we'll do is maybe we should get by taking out just the rear one. If I just take out this guy here, maybe the whole floorboard will drop and give us enough clearance for the exhaust. So let's do that now. So we're here. Got the floorboard off. I ended up taking both Allens out. This is a 5/16 Allen. Okay. So just got it completely out of the way. So this is where the floorboard used to sit. So I got that out. Here, to get this nut out, what a pain, I gotta be honest with you. So there is your stud. I don't know if you can see it there, right there. Okay. There's a bracket that goes on, which is this guy here. This guy was here. And essentially all it does is it holds your coolant reservoir on the other side. So I got it out of the way just to get the tool in there. And then again, I used a 1/2 inch socket on a swivel. Okay. And what I did was I ended up putting the tool to the front here like this, fished it around, and put the nut on. I was able to get the socket on the nut there, and then because this swivels, I was able to turn it, and it was a 1/4 turn at a time, whatever it was. And yeah, so I got that off. Now this one here is easy to do. Same thing, you don't need the swivel on this anymore. But just put an extension on, and same thing. Go up through here. This is your 1/2 inch nut. Here's your nut. So, you're definitely going to reuse these guys. I'll use it to bolt the new header up to these studs there. One more other thing you got to do is here, you've got a little bracket that still holds the header onto the bike. And again, you probably won't need to reuse it, but same thing, 1/2 inch. And essentially this whole pipe should come off. And yes, I took the heat shields off because they're just a pain in the ass. Okay, your nut's off here. So now that should give you enough room to take there's your header pipe. So now I could probably remove this. I'll be able to get a wrench in there at 11/16 to undo the O2 sensor. Okay, so let's do that now. Okay, that's enough clearance there. Get your wrench. Here's your O2 sensor. And now it gives you enough clearance to come out over here and get in here. Okay, there's your 2 sensor out. Now you should be able to lift this entire exhaust right out. Let's have a look here. From here. There she is. Without scratching anything. Look at that. Okay. Okay, so got my mufflers here. I've got my head pipe with the heat shields on it and the crossover all attached together. Let's see what it weighs. It's on. Okay, 222.9 pounds. So let's call it 223 pounds, obviously with my weight. So 223, okay? Stand on the scale. 205. 205.1. So from 223 to 205. That's 17 pounds. That's a big difference, man. 17 pounds of weight savings. Okay, let's put this baby on. Okay, so we're back. Unfortunately, I kind of had to stop. You know how it is. Things happen in life. I had to go. My daughter was coming home from daycare, so yeah, I had to stop working on the bike. But we're back. I got a little bit more time today. This is a couple of days later. Yeah, last thing I did was I weighed the difference, right? I did some math later on in my head and realized that it's actually an 18-pound difference. So this new Graffeo exhaust is going to be 18 pounds lighter. Okay, really cool. Last thing I did as well, something that you should do, really, really important, is to take out the crush gaskets that are underneath right here. Okay. The stock ones that are in there, they're one-time use, right in the cylinder heads there. Okay, make sure it's nice and clean. Get all that stuff out. It looks like this. Okay, I just used a like a flathead screwdriver. Pulled them out. Make sure not to scratch the heads there as you're pulling these guys out. And make sure they all come out in one piece. This one's pretty mangled. Okay, Graffeo does supply you with new crush gaskets. They're a little thinner. Should be better for flow, I'd assume. But yeah, so now that those are out, we could start building. We could start putting it back in. Oh, another quick note I wanted to show you. We're completely done on the left side. So I put the bag back on, and look at how that looks with no pipe coming across. It already looks badass. Okay, so I'm gonna set you guys down, and what we'll do is we're gonna put those new crush gaskets in here. Again, make sure it's nice and clean, and yeah, we'll start to put the new pipes on. Okay, another beautiful thing about the Graffeo exhaust, it comes into 3 pieces. Okay, so here they are side by side, right? So here's your front header, there's the rear cylinder, and then there's your collector going into the muffler. So how badass is this gonna be? Okay, pipe's not installed yet. I haven't even put the crush gasket in there yet, but I just wanted to show you the routing. Okay, this is the ripper pipe from Graffeo, and as you can see, that front header pipe, instead of going underneath the timing cover, it goes over top. Okay, Yeah, man, that's gonna look really cool. So I'll be able to put the floorboard back on as well, because obviously it's not gonna interfere with it. But again, we'll leave that till the end. But as you can see, this is with the stock air cleaner. It just touches, okay? So it will melt that plastic. But again, I've got a fix for that. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, there's another part that's come in. And yeah, I really can't wait to show you that. But yeah, anyway, if you do run this pipe on the new M8s, you will have some fitment issues. It will touch that plastic. It will melt that plastic. So I will still run the bike. Maybe I'll take the cover off here so that way it doesn't melt that plastic, just to see what it sounds like. Obviously, with every exhaust video, you got to do a sound comparison, right? But yeah, just want to show you how cool that looks. And obviously the rear pipe comes out of here. The collector will come in around this area here. I think it's going to bolt into the bottom bolts here of your transmission, and your muffler will go right underneath that bag. So, okay, let's put the quick side by side. So here's the crush gasket that I took out of the stock mufflers there. And this is the one that comes with the Graffeo exhaust. So a bit of difference in thickness there. But I mean, hey, this is what Graffeo hand builds these pipes. If he recommends this kind of gasket, we'll go with what he recommends. Obviously, maybe these are a little too restrictive, but yeah. Anyway, so we're gonna just shove this guy in here. Again, if cleaned out. It's sitting flush. I don't know if you can see that there, but there's your gasket in there now. Best as we can, nice and flush. Okay. Okay, so I think what we're going to do now is we're going to start to run the O2 sensor into the bong here in the back of the exhaust. So what we'll do is we're going to start turning the O2 sensor wire in a counterclockwise direction, and that way it gives you some chance to what we'll do is we'll turn it counterclockwise, and then that way when you're turning it tight into the pipe, she's not going to over knot the wire. Is that the word I'm looking for? Yeah. Anyway, so counterclockwise, right? Because that's not what you want, right? You don't want the wire to look like this when it's installed. So now that it's been counterclockwise spun, take the header pipe and we start to run it in. And we'll straighten out the wire as you're doing that. Okay, so we're here. So same thing. So this O2 sensor was attached to this guy here. Obviously I needed to cut it, and I had to play around. I took off the right side cover off to give myself more room with the O2 sensor. Cut a couple of zip ties, fished it along where it's supposed to be. It's still underneath the clips, so it's away from everything, all the heat and stuff. Gave myself more room. Again, I turned this counterclockwise a few turns, so that way when it's seated nice and tight in the exhaust, it's as you can see, the wire is nice and straight. Mounting this guy up, I gotta say, it definitely takes some patience. Take your time with it. And this bolt here is not too bad to get to. This one here is a pain. This guy right there. So it started off by hand. I could barely get my fingers in there to reach. Tight as much as I could. And then it was a bunch of 1/8 turns with a 1/2-inch wrench and get it to it from here. Again, I was able to make more room by taking this guy off. Okay. Again, I'll put that back on now that that's mounted. But yeah, she's tight. That's moving the whole bike nice and tight. Again, the gasket's in there first. Gasket's in there. As you can see, again, with the stock airbox, definitely some, it's definitely touching for sure. Here, not so much on top of the timing cover, but it's definitely gonna melt this plastic here if I start the bike up. But I will start it for a few minutes just to see how it sounds. And then we'll take that airbox off. But yeah, so far, loving the way this looks. And yeah, we'll keep going. So same thing I'll do with the rear O2 sensor. We'll spin it counterclockwise, and then clockwise we'll turn it back into it. And then once I've got that there, we'll be able to mount it up here. So yeah, did a few counterclockwise turns. Grab your rear head pipe here, and I'm just gonna start to turn it in here. See how it unwinds it. Okay, grab your 11/16 open block wrench, just to give her a nice tight squeeze. Okay, nice and tight. And then we could just unravel that cord. Okay, nice and straight. One more. Okay. So again, if you got too much slack here, you can always just pull it back through. Okay. So now, what we'll do is we'll see. Here we could just pull some back. And there. Which is here. Awesome. See how it sits in here. Just like that. Nice that you don't have to transfer the flange here. Just like that. Here. There's one. So I'm thinking, before I tighten this guy down all the way, try to slide the connector in here, because I think they go into the bottom bolts of the transmission here. So let's have a look what that looks like. So what I've done, I loosened the back one here so I can get the muffler and the collector in, because it's got to go between the front head pipe and the rear head pipe. Got it on there pretty good, and I was able to tighten this back up. And now at the bottom here is where you see is where it mounts to. So I thought it was going to be the transmission bolts, but it's not. It's actually these bolts over here in the case. So that's a 1/4 inch. And I got it lined up as best as I could into those holes. And yeah, tighten that up here. That's what holds it on. So I'm just gonna grab my my ratchet here, a 1/4 inch. Again, you can use just a regular Allen key if you really wanted to. And yeah, we're running these guys back in. And I believe the install is done. It's pretty clean. A couple hiccups here and there, but overall, I'm just gonna get that lined up pretty good. There she is. Okay. That's solid. That's moving the whole bike. Beautiful. Okay. Make sure these guys are tight up here. Again, 1/2 inch deep socket. That's tight. That ain't going anywhere. Wow. Okay, let's just finish it off. We'll just put the bag on, just give it the final look. Yeah, but look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. And again, I think this piece here made a difference. Give you that bit of a length, this much, you know. It probably would have from here, right? So it would have stopped kind of pretty much where this bevel is here. So you'd have your soot coming out, hitting the bag. So this here, a little bit of extra length comes back. All the soot goes down here. That's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. What do you think? Comment down below. I mean, I think this is a beautiful, beautiful addition to the bike. Completely changes the way it looks. Yeah, still gotta add that plastic piece back up here. You can do that now, actually, since that's done. Again, this just holds the reservoir, coolant reservoir. So this guy goes into here like this, just like that. So I'm gonna find where this meets. That's right there. This line goes in here, just like that. On the other side, this just holds your coolant reservoir right here. Beautiful. So again, the only other concern I've got is this here. It touches just a bit, just a little bit more than I would like. And again, we have a fix for that. But if you have a look, I don't know if you can see that there. That's gonna melt that plastic for sure. Yeah, that's not good. So, Mr. Graffeo, you know, I asked you, remember when I was buying this pipe, I'm like, you know, I got the stock intake. What do I do? Not much clearance. So he says to me, he says, you know what, Dory, you know, most guys change that out. So can't argue there. If this is if you're thinking about buying this pipe and keeping the stock intake, I highly advise against it, especially for these new Milwaukee 8s. But yeah, anyway, I take that bag back off. Before I start the pipe, super important to wipe all this down. I'm gonna use a bit of brake cleaner and get my paw prints off of this pipe, because being a stainless pipe, if you don't wipe it down clean, it's gonna burn all of that oils from your fingers into the pipe, which obviously you don't want. So take the bag back off. I gotta put the side cover back in too. Give this a nice wipe. He's all done. What do you guys think? Absolutely beautiful. Look at this thing. Oh my goodness. Everywhere I look, it's amazing. With the bag on, Oh my God, like that custom look, the craftsmanship from Mr. Graffeo himself. Absolutely beautiful, look at that. It's just, look at his welds. I can't even know what to say. Like, again, the only complaint would be if you were gonna keep this keep this factory. It just touches, right? But, I mean, the looks, come on, right? Absolutely beautiful. Good job, sir. So, again, I promise I'm going to start it. Just show you the other side here, just from the front. I can't wait for it to start, and for it to start to yellow and stuff, get some blues in there. Beautiful addition added to the install on the bike here. Again, I can't get over how beautiful that looks. And yeah, I was right. I knew that this was going to be a little too close to the pipe, and there you go. She's already melted on there. So not much you can do about that. I am going to take this off, and we're definitely going to rectify that issue. And yeah, so anybody ask, does the ripper pipe from Graffeo fit on the Milwaukee 8s? Yes and no. Yes, fitment's great. Stock air filter, not a good idea. Okay, folks, stay tuned. And again, I got a cold air intake coming in, and I can't wait to show you what this looks like. It's going to complement the pipe really, really well. As always, guys, thanks for